Hello there. This is a podcast by me. I think I need to turn this up a little bit. There we go. Hello. Hello. This is the first time I've done a podcast that makes me look slightly more professional than I actually am. Hopefully the audio comes out well and syncs with the video. Because this is very, very not new to me. I've been a podcaster for forever. Let me just move this out of the way because I don't think I need that. Just need this big old thing in my face. Anyway, if you're listening on the audio version of this podcast, you won't know what I'm talking about. Basically, I'm satin, I'm silk, I'm lace. I'm sat using a tripod. I have my professional podcast microphone, and I am doing this as a vidcast. I haven't called this a vidcast in multiple years. Jesus Christ! So this is a video podcast, and that's what people call podcasts nowadays. Podcasts are usually just long form videos of like people talking to themselves or to other people. Back in the day, when I'm talking like back in the day, a video podcast was called a vidcast, but now they've just become podcasts because you can record them, strip out the audio, shove it online. So, hi, welcome to this episode of Toby Honest. It is a Sunday. I am pretty tired, not going to lie. Had a pretty eventful week and a bit. Next week's going to be quite stressful. But we shall see how that pans out. It may be a positive experience. It may be something that kills me off for a while, but I'm hoping it doesn't. There's a lot going on. So what do I have to? Why am I doing a podcast? Well, I did say I was going to do one, and I also did say that I'm doing daily videos, which I have been doing, but I'm a little bit behind with. So my videos haven't been going out on the day because I have been recording, but then just not uploading on the day. So I wanted to do this one as a joint podcast, a joint video, so that I can basically kill two birds with one stone and get a podcast out whilst doing a video. I've been thinking a lot recently about just the state of this country, and it's quite embarrassing, the fact that there's so much hate that is being kind of put into the world, and there's just people who are doing no harm being scapegoated, and the rights of people they're trying to strip away, and it's really fucking negative, and it seems to be all we see. We don't see any positives from stuff. And I've been watching how, since the Labour Party got into power, how they've just been dealing with stuff, which they really haven't been doing very well. Awful, I think, is probably the best way to sum it up, because nothing's changing. Nothing's getting easier or better. We've not got any benefits of them being in power now over the Tories. And there was so much opportunity there. I feel like they had so much opportunity to improve things for us, to make us realise that actually it's good to have them in power than the Tories. But it really hasn't been. There's been these draconian online things brought in. They're going to do the digital ID card things. They tried to strip away disability benefits and tried to change things and make it difficult for people. They took away things, and then they did U-turns on heating payments and stuff. So there's all of this stuff that's just not going well for them. And then there's the budget coming at the end. I think it's at the end of this month, which I don't think is going to be very a positive for anyone. One of their pledges was that they weren't going to put taxes up, but I think that's probably going to happen. And also, one of the old pledges in an old manifesto is that they wanted to reform the voting system so that it became proportional rather than first past the post. If that would be good, because the way the current system is just really risky for letting anything that is right wing get into power. I have been following the work of the Green Party for a while, and they just seem they just seem to be doing really well, saying the things that I agree with, like all of the different things like that. And I know I rarely like veer into political things on this podcast, because usually I just talk about bumming or food or things like that. No, I think I talk more about other things, but I do talk about those things. But I recently joined the Green Party, so I'm a Green Party member, because I actually believe in what they're doing and what they're saying. And it's early days, but I feel like the massive uptick that they're getting at the moment is a positive thing, because there is genuinely so much hate. Like, thinking of the other parties that I won't name, but there's the horrendous one led by a racist, is just, they want to scrap the European Act of Human Rights. They want to reduce, they want to scrap minimum wage. They want to make all of these changes. They've also talked about changes that they would make to indefinite leave to remain for like post-Brexit stuff. And it's fucking awful. It's genuinely fucking awful. So just, but the thing is that kind of political thing, and the right-wing media, because most media is very right-leaning, it's just kind of formulated to make people angry, to find a scapegoat, and then blame people. So they'll either be looking to blame trans people, or blaming immigrants or refugees, when it's not them causing the issues. It's the fucking politicians who are causing the issues, who are, some of them, especially the right-wing ones. It's all about money. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. They've never cared about you. What they're doing is trying to make it easier for them to be more corrupt, to have more money, to be able to do stuff like that. And that's genuinely disturbing. It's genuinely not something that I ever want to become reality in this country, but it is becoming like that. And I get very you see it when you go to events sometimes. Like, I recently went to an amazing show in Manchester, and it was called Gallifrey Cabaret. It was Doctor Who based, because I'm a Doctor Who nerd, and it was really, really good. And they really like poked fun at politicians and politics and stuff in a way that was like, this is what's happening in the world and it's shit. Because it genuinely is. Like, I don't know how hate has been able to grow. But then I look at things like Twitter. So Twitter used to be a really great place to be online, to have conversations, to make friends, to learn new things, to explore that kind of, like, I don't know, just conversations with people that you'd never usually meet all over the world, to communicate with. Really, really good, like in its infancy. And then over the years, it became more and more just, I don't know, sensational and heavy. And then, like, it was trying to stop hate speech until the very rich guy took it over and changed its name and turned it into the hate-filled cesspool that it is nowadays. Like, genuinely, you can go on to there and you can accidentally be shown violence, sex, just hate. Not even if that's what you're searching for, just straight there on the front page. And it's sensational because they want people to engage with it, because engagement means more money. And that's the kind of thing that's kind of fueling a lot of this. Just people, like lots of right-wing people going on there and just kind of shouting into their own echo chamber and amplifying their own voices, and then believing their own stuff, like liking the smell of their own shit. And it baffles me, because I don't understand why. Like, it takes so much energy to hate. It takes so much energy to do that. And when you see like videos of people doing like protest things, when they had the horrible march that a lot of people said wasn't racist, it absolutely was. When you see stuff like that, and it's just people being racist in plain view, and just, it's disgusting. I remember when Brexit happened, I remember the pit in my stomach. I remember the feeling of just sadness when it happened. And that sadness has just become what this country has become, is just sad, pathetic, running on fumes, disconnected, disengaged. No, we as people don't have any benefits to being who we are. I think I will always see myself as European, not as British. And like all of the things that have gone on with all of the flags, like people just putting up flags on lampposts and saying, oh, you should be proud to be British. No, it's just genuinely, it's all based in like, this is our place. If you're not of our blood, you can't be here. It makes me sick. Every time I see like flags on lampposts and stuff, I'm just like, ew, brother, ew. Genuinely. Like, I remember, I've even had that before people were doing that on like lampposts, when you'd occasionally see someone with one in their garden and you just think, their house smells a bit of gammon. It's not a good look. And when I remember when the Jubilees happened and all the bunting was out and people were celebrating, but then that bunting was never taken down and it just kind of bleached in the sun and slowly deteriorated. That really summed up the country for me. I remember trying to start a poem at the time called Bleached Bunting, which I never finished, but it kind of really summed it up for me, that was the way that this country is going. And it's depressing. It really is depressing. So, yeah, I think the best thing is to just like treat people with kindness. Like, people coming here for refugee status are coming here because they're fleeing something that is potentially a threat to their life. They're making a journey which is also a threat to their life. They're not doing this because it's easy. And if you remember, the UK doesn't have like a proper way of people being able to claim asylum because they closed all of those things off. So the only way that people can do that is by coming across on boats. Coming across on boats is now being turned into this, we'll stop the boats. Just make an actual way where people can apply for refugee status rather than having to risk their lives to come over here. Like, people die doing that. People are losing their life because of that, and then it's put on the papers, and then you see it on Facebook, and people are reacting to a news article that someone has died traveling to try and find refuge in a country because where their country is potentially a risk to their life. Like, I don't understand how people can't, like, I think people have lost touch with humanity. I think people have disconnected their hearts or their feelings from reality. I think that people are so used to seeing things on screens and kind of bite-sized things or kind of things span into another way that there's no, like, humanity there. There's no, this person is a real person. Like, I've worked in different places where I've come into contact, like face-to-face contact with people in really dire situations. Like, really dire. And I'm always surprised when people aren't able to kind of engage with that thought. It's very much, oh, you're coming over here taking our job. It's always, you're coming over here and taking our jobs. But if you look at it, we're running out of, like, people to do jobs because of Brexit, and no one wants to. Why would anybody want to come and work here when you're made to feel like you don't fit in, like you're made to feel like something else? Diversity is a wonderful thing, yet people just don't grasp that. It's just like thick racist idiots. And I worry because of how Labour have handled things, that they're just playing into the hands of right-wing governments, and it's worrying. There has to be alternatives for that. And the Green Party, for me, is that alternative. I was really interested at the beginning about your party, the one that Corbyn and Sultana were doing. But I don't know what happened with that, but there was some kind of embarrassing thing where they set up a way to join and to fund, and then that went all to shit, and then there was very public like falling outs, and no, that just didn't seem like something that was going to work. So I decided to go green. I saw Zach do some really interesting videos and interviews, and I was like, this person knows what they're talking about. This person knows what the media does when they ask questions in a certain way, and knows how to answer them, to fire them back with an extra layer on top that actually makes you go, oh, this person knows what they're saying. I think the most famous, well, not famous, but I think the one I saw recently was when he was being questioned by Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan was like, can a woman have a penis? And he said yes. And that's because, or I'm probably misquoting this, he said, but that's because they wait for so long to have surgery on the NHS and things like that. And yeah, so I think he's really good at responding to things like that. I think that he has a really good outlook with how the country could be better and better off and could work well. So first time in ever, I joined a political party. I joined the Green Party because I genuinely believe that that's something that aligns with my views and my thoughts. Yeah. So this has been a podcast. Enjoy. Have a good Sunday, whatever you're doing. I don't know how quick I'll get this out. If I haven't edited it, then it'll be very quick. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to leave a comment. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. If you're not subscribed to my podcast on all of the different podcasty places, please do so. And until next time, I will see you soon. Bye.